And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely Brutal OST. Hope you are ready for the semi-finals of ESL Open Cup Europe, number 216. We are here with a spicy PVT, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have a very unlikely challenger, but he just took down Hero Marine 2-1. Can he cause another upset? It's the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Liquid. It is MaNa. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Blue Terran, representing Team Liquid as well as they are teammates. The French Terran player, the favorite for this entire tournament, it is Clem. And if you are in the chat, predictions are open. Predictions open. So place your bets on who you believe is going to take the series and who you think is going to come out on top, who makes it to the grand finals, who qualifies. Who will be our first finalist? Will it be a Protoss or a Terran? Will it be Clem or MaNa? Up to you to decide. Again, Clem is the heavy favorite. He was the favorite coming into the tournament from the beginning of the tournament. But MaNa has already brought down Gabe. And you don't get much stronger than Gabe other than Clem and Spirit, right? It's Gabe, Clem, and Spirit. They are the trifecta of Terran in the upper echelons of Europe. They are the top three. And MaNa has brought one down. Can he do the same to another? Can he do the same to the best? The best in Europe. Here we go. It is going to be an economic opener. So for the entirety of the series of Big Gabe, against Cristiano and against MaNa, Gabe went for double gas openers. He went double gas into Faster Factories. Here for the first time tonight in a TvP, we have Clem opening up economically Rax Expand. Much more Korean. A lot of the Koreans are embracing Rax Expands. They have been for many months, for quite some time now. Clem likewise embracing it here as well. Going for more economic opener, followed by the factory. Meanwhile, here we have MaNa going for a gate cyber expand as well. So standard openers all around, nothing too crazy, nothing too aggressive from Clem. But a big shout out in the chat to Colossal Gop Kalasi Papi for resubscribing for 5 months. Oh my god. Clem. It looks like Kalasi, after maybe enjoying that last series a bit too much, after maybe coming back from his high, from you know, reaching that peak. What am I thinking of? That's it, reaching that euphoria. He has returned to us, resubscribing. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting as well. Hope you enjoy the games. Gracias, Kalasi, gracias. For those who don't know, Colossal Gulp, I almost called you Kalasi. Colossal Gulp, he is another fellow streamer. He's a Terran streamer, so check out his Twitch channel. Is an amazing streamer. He learns, Papi. He learns all the time in chat. On stream. It's beautiful. Check him out. Great guy. Great guy. As we do have our opener here. MaNa going for a Twilight Council, going for a Blink here at the natural base. Clem yet to confirm, but he does dip in. He does get eyes on the Twilight Council. Clem now fully aware of the Blink-based opener, but now he has to piece together how many gateways. There's one gateway at the natural. He's aware of the one gateway in the main. For the time being, it's going to be a 2-gate opener from MaNa. 2-gate Blink, but do we throw more down? Clem is about to find out. Here comes the Mind Job, and we spoke about this earlier. The Mind Job is designed to do 2 things. One is, maybe we can get some probe kills, maybe we can get an economic lead, but more important than killing workers is to scout and to confirm whether there's any hidden tech or any additional gateways, or even a faster third base. We can see the third has not been taken. Why? Because there's a third gateway instead. So MaNa is going to be more aggressive, and Clem has to get a read on this. Oh, the Stalkers are in position. They do zone back at that drop. But again, Clem is at least aware that there's 2-base play, that there is no third, so he has a piece of the puzzle. Now, this is not going to be a 2-base all-in. This is going to be a 3-gate opener into a third. Oh, as we delay our expansion even further, going for a Templar Archives, rushing into Storm once again. This is what MaNa did in the Ace match against Big Gabe. Or something similar to this, I should say. So, again, MaNa should be expanding. He shouldn't be going for a 2-base all-in. There should be a Nexus on the way. But because he opened up with a third gateway, as it is scouted, third gateway scouted. But as he did open up in such a fashion, it does mean that he can move out. He has quite a lot of stalkers available. Once the prism does arrive, then MaNa is going to be in the face of Clem. Meanwhile, the drop is still waiting outside the main. We are amassing. Third CC is on the way. Clem working on his economy, while MaNa starts up Storm. And there's that third. Storm and the third Nexus on the way as we speak. Drop making its way towards the main. We get eyes on the stalkers. We back off. MaNa's in position. Clem knows that. He respects it. He does retreat. Interesting. And MaNa, he's already morphed into High Templar really early on. Now, because these High Templar are so early, that means that we will have a lot of storms available. Instead of 2, we may even have up to 4. So this storm drop is going to be brutal. It's a bit of a give and take. On the one hand, MaNa, he's not being active with his stalkers, so he's not really aware of what's going on. MaNa hasn't seen much of anything, actually. Oh, never mind, he has an observer. Okay, he can see him move out. He can spot and move out, but he hasn't been able to apply any pressure. Instead, he's stuck at home with his stalkers. Delayed third base, but this storm has a lot of potential, and we are finishing up Storm in a couple of seconds. Oh, the drop is coming. We have a turret on the way. Prism dipping in towards that mineral line, towards that natural. When the storms have been thrown down, late reaction there by Clem. And 8 SCVs go down. And do we have another storm? Again, 2 storms for now. We will have 2 storms available soon thereafter. Clem pushing right through the center. He's going for the third base. Jumping into the main. MaNa, does he react? No! Late reaction. Mine shot's gonna go off. Big connection. 4 probes go down. But so will the medevac. As MaNa, he does take some damage. Did we get the prism? The prism! No! The war prism got sniped. The High Templar went down as well. Do we have any storms left? We do. But Clem, he stims on 4. Dives on top of the High Templar. Will shut them down. Expensive losses here for MaNa. Scan shuts down the observer as well. But the cannon did give vision, did give detection. And MaNa, he's in a world of hurt. Look at those losses. 4 High Templar and the War Prison. That was brutal. As Clem did catch him. He's pushing right through the center here. Tank is going to be focused down. Good target firing out of MaNa. But there's still just so much more on the ground. We will have maybe 1 storm available. Yeah, we only have 1 High Templar. A couple more have been warped in at the natural. They still need time to gather up energy. They need time for storms. And Clem, he rotates around. Remember, he's not all in. He took a third. So Clem, he's taking an economic lead. Getting his third up and running. Ghost Academy is on the way. Sharking around, looking for any stray units. Any kind of move out. As the War Prism is behind this. With that High Templar. Oh, as MaNa does take a mine to the face. And we stim in! He wants it. Storm, good splits here from Clem. Avoids the storm for the most part. 4th base is delayed, and MaNa, he needs a 4th. He needs to get up a base here. To see a Terran on the same base count as the Protoss is a terrifying thing. Like Clem, he has a massive economic lead. He's working on the 4th base before MaNa starts up his own 4th. Ay, ay, ay. Before his 4th base is even on the way. Not like this. MaNa on 3 bases, going for a second robo, going for a bay, going for Colossus production. But MaNa's on the back foot, and you can see, because of the better economy that Clem has, you can see that reflected in the army supply. He's just taking a stronger and stronger lead because of the economy, but also because of the trades that Clem has been having, out trading MaNa. And he's about to max out. Clem, he's about to max out, just leaving MaNa supply in the dust. Now we take a 4th base, but Clem, he's coming. Come on, guys. Here we go. Storms are available. Decent storm on the army. Oh, but we pick off both High Templar. Not worth it for MaNa. And Clem with such good control. He shuts down both High Templar. The Prism gets sniped. The Prism goes down. And we're just trickling in with units here. And Clem, he's snowballing out of control. He shuts down all these zealots. We have a storm grazing the army. We have another storm available. Does force Clem back. But again, these singular storms are not good enough. The decent storm here on Clem. Zealots are warping in. Trying to collapse here on the army. But Clem being so careful with his control. Even Vikings have arrived. There aren't even any Colossus. Not yet. Colossus production just now commencing. Colossus are on the way. MaNa barely holding onto his 4th base, but really he's not even mining from it. Clem a little bit premature with that auto turret. No mining going on yet. But he does take down some gas mining workers. 3 probes fall. As Clem has maxed. Collapsing on the army. Good EMP here on the Stalkers. Yeah, and he just stim and win from this point. We need a little bit more time for storms. We snipe a High Templar. The Colossus have arrived, but there are Vikings already. The Vikings are out. Overcharged. Well, big storms here on the army. Massive storms, but we still focus on the Colossus one after the other. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 1. Just fighting through the storms. Didn't even care, because it didn't even matter at that point. GG. A solid game there from Clem. There was potential with the storm drop. The initial storms were good in the mineral line, but to lose the War Prison, to lose the High Templar, Clem, he was just trading so well, and his macro behind it was leaving MaNa behind. Was leaving him in the dust. It was just too much there to handle. And with that, Clem does take a 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, wait, is the lower semis already done? No shot. No shot the lower semis has completed. It looks like it kind of has. We have an update. Raynor, he just 2-0'd Showtime. Raynor, he's waiting in the lower semifinals. Raynor versus Showtime, a pretty fast series, not gonna lie. I was expecting that to be a little bit longer. But it was faster than our one. Like, it started at around the same time. So a very fast best of 3 there. Raynor, he did bring Showtime down. And now Raynor is waiting for either Max Pax or Spirit. And again, we might be able to cast both semifinals, but here we go. It's still in our first one, and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hecate, we have our Polish Protoss player representing Team Liquid down in this series, but not out. Not yet. Can we fight back? Can we force the ace match? He needs your help. He needs your support in the chat. It is MaNa. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the French Terran player, the blue Terran, the best Terran in all of Europa, looking to advance on to the grand finals. Can he be stopped? Can he be slowed down? It is Clem. Here we go. As Clem was looking strong there in the last game. Really good control, really good army movement, really good micro. Very good presence as well to be able to cash the prison when he did. So careful with his mine drop as well. His engagements were brutal. And we'll see how MaNa approaches our next game. I imagine Clem is going to go for a Rax expand again. There's no reason not to. And I don't really see Clem as one to really embrace double gas openers too much. Not as much as Hero Marine. So he will be opening up more economically here against MaNa. We'll be opening up in a more economic fashion. There it is. SCV towards a low ground. It is going to be a Rax expand. Meanwhile, MaNa going for a Gate Cyber expand as well. So nothing too fancy in the early game. Pretty economic openers all around. Here we go. As we ease into the mid-game. Catching up in the chat. Roddy sent me, shout out to Rotterdam. I know that Roddy, I think he's casting here in game 2. I think he's joined us, because I think he was going over the Raynor series. So a big shout out to Rotterdam. As we do see Clem moving out across the map with his first Reaper. It is going to be a Stargate opener for the first time here tonight. MaNa has been embracing Twilight Council openers the entire day here against Clem and against Big Gabe. But now he does mix it up here with a Stargate. Let's go. Hold on. Exclamation mark frozen in the chat. There we go. Let's go. It's not. It's a screenshot, Bobby. It's a screenshot. As Reaper does dip in, looking at his vision, Clem is yet to enter the main base, so he's still in the dark as to the tech of choice. As he does make his way in towards that main, does get in, does get eyes on the Stargate and the Oracle as well. Big scout for Clem. MaNa unable to deny the scout. And even though the Reaper goes down, it did its job. It accomplished its job here. Was able to get eyes on everything that MaNa was up to. Behind this, getting into a 1-1-1. Working towards his medevac production, I imagine. Working towards his drop play as Cyclones are on the way. There we go. Just one Cyclone for the time being. But we could definitely invest into another. Double Cyclone drops have been quite trendy as of late. It could just be playing safe here, especially against the would-be Oracle. Speaking of, the Oracle is moving out, heading towards the natural base. And we are cutting production here at only a single Cyclone, just focusing on a transition into our 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport. Getting to a standard setup on 2 bases. Oracle has arrived, but good positioning here from Clem. He shuts down the Oracle, does survive, but takes quite a bit of hull damage for only a single SCV. Rough start there for MaNa. Behind this, working towards his 3rd base, that's going to be Phoenix production, followed by a Robo. Looks like the setup for Phoenix Colossus. Hellion Scout somehow slips into the main, and we confirm Phoenixes are on the way. We got eyes on the Robo as well, so Clem, once again, he confirms everything that MaNa's up to. He sees all, he knows all. This Oracle a little bit more successful, but oh, we take a lot of damage. We're down to 5 HP. The Oracle barely does survive. Barely escapes getting 3 SCVs. But again, still has not paid for itself. Meanwhile, even though Clem hasn't seen the Bay, seeing the Phoenixes, as we recall, back home, the Oracle does make it back home, but seeing the Phoenixes and seeing the Robo is enough to tell Clem it's Phoenix Colossus. So, even though he hasn't seen the Bay, he knows it's there. He knows almost for certain that it is there. So he should be mentally prepared. As behind this, we're getting into the rest of our rack setup, working towards drop play, and MaNa has lost map control. He's stuck at home, stuck defending, securing his 3rd, and building up towards Colossus. Now, once we do hit critical mass of Colossus, then MaNa can move out, but until then, we're going to be stuck at home. Sure, we can be active with Oracles and Phoenixes, but because of the Oracle opener, the Phoenix count is quite low. We have how many? 3 Phoenixes so far for MaNa. You can see that right now we're just in position to deny drop play. We can't really harass across the map. We have to be careful. As the Oracle gets a revelation off, getting eyes on the production, getting eyes on the setup here. He's fully aware that there's no tank push, bearing in mind that we're just building up Widow Mines instead. No tanks whatsoever. Again, just working towards a longer game. As Clem is mixing in delayed mine drops. Oh, and that is +1 air attack. Not expecting that, but this tells us that we're not just making enough Phoenixes for map control and to deny drop play, we're making more Phoenixes as, yep, 2nd Stargate gets thrown down. We're committing to more Phoenix production to just actually have that as a core unit of the army. Oh boy. Let's go. This can also make its way into Skytoss. We can thread out a fleet beacon and start working towards carriers. That could be on the table here for MaNa. As Clem pushing right through the center, does get eyes on the positioning of the Colossus. Does see it in the center. He rotates around towards the right-hand side. Drop does come in here towards the left. Mine goes off, killing 1 probe. Clem dropping into the main. Medevac confirms the positioning of the army. MaNa will kill that Widow Mine just barely. The drop does get in. We focus down the shield battery. Can we focus down any of these Phoenixes? Not quite. Phoenixes will shut this down. Stasis trap goes off. MaNa, he's holding. It's a tight hold. You can see that MaNa, he barely has an army to work with. He has a bare bones army here, but he does hold. Thanks to the stasis. Otherwise, Clem could dive on this. Remember, overcharge was just spent in the main. There is no overcharge left. It's on cooldown. MaNa, he does stim forward, gets a Phoenix, but he takes a lot of Colossus swipes to the face. The Colossi going ham, the Marauders, they stim forward. They focus down the Immortal. There's nothing else to support the Colossus on the ground, but Clem just barely doesn't have enough. He backs off for a moment, getting his third base up and running on location. But MaNa, his economy looking quite good. MaNa, he's fully saturated on 3 bases, up to 70 probes. And Clem, he was hoping for more damage. Bringing it back here, Clem, yes, he killed Immortals, yes, he killed the Gateway Army, but he didn't touch the Colossus. The drop into the main failed. The mine drop killed one probe, and Clem hasn't touched the economy whatsoever. Oh, did kill the Oracle. Oracle did go down. But so far, really good defense here out of MaNa. And even though MaNa has been working with like kind of a skeleton crew of an army, like there's very little to work with here. He survived, he weathered the storm, and now Sky Toss. Fleet beacons on the way, carriers on the horizon, forge upgrades. We should be seeing some additional gateways. I think we're only working on, only 2 gates. It's a little bit scary. It would be nice to have a little bit more to support the army. Like MaNa, he's cutting so many corners and he is still vulnerable. But if he survives a little bit longer, he can snowball out of control with Sky Toss. But here comes Clem. Here comes Clem, and again, there's nothing on the ground. We can warp in 2 units at a time. We have 2 slow lots. 2 slow lots and some sack defense to defend. If Clem knew this, he would push in 100%. But unlike us, Clem, he doesn't see how vulnerable MaNa is, and he doesn't see that MaNa is rushing into a fleet beacon. It is going to be Phoenix range on the way. Anion Pulse Crystals, if you will, for MaNa. Colossus are in position on the right-hand side. Just where MaNa's pushing in. This is still going to be a tight defense for MaNa. How many Phoenixes do we have? 14. He's going mass Phoenix. Oh my god. Still making non-stop Phoenixes. Still not working towards carriers. The Widow Mines are going to be annoying, but they are being picked off. They do get lifted. One after the other. One mine shot will connect. Nice connection on the Phoenixes. Clem going for a Doom drop into the main base. Despite the mass amount of Phoenixes, MaNa does not have vision, not in position, and the drop gets in. If he dives into the main base, he does get eyes on the fleet beacon. Carriers are in production. We do recall back into the main, but the shield battery has gone down. Oh, and can the Phoenixes deal with this? They pick up every single Marine at the same time. Clem, he's hunting for the Colossus, and he gets it. He dives in, he gets 1 Colossus. And we only have stack defense, and stack defense does nothing against a bio army. The shield batteries, the cannons, they go down. Colossus, they wander into a minefield. And again, they're so exposed. A second Colossus goes down. The drop in the main base has not been cleaned up. 18 probes fall. Oh, big EMPs here on the Phoenixes. The mine shots as well. It looks like we can maybe clean this up, but expensive losses. GG gets called. MaNa, he gets caught out, and Clem will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem, as he will take the series 2-0. MaNa with a very unique style. Not something that we see too often, to go mass Phoenix with a handful of Colossus and nothing else to support, rushing towards those carriers. The carriers were on the way, but we saw that Clem was able to break MaNa before he could get into those carriers and was able to successfully pull him apart. Basically, the winning move there was the Doom drop into the main. If MaNa had an observer or had anything to spot the drop, then suddenly MaNa's in position with his Phoenixes, the drop doesn't unload, we defend the main base, we can recall over to defend the Colossus towards the left-hand side, and we have a much cleaner defense. But MaNa did not have eyes on the army, didn't have eyes on the Doom drop. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Clem as he does advance on. And to be fair, Clem was the favorite player. Like, he is the favorite player for the entire tournament. So, it's expected for him to win. But MaNa, was able to make a series out of this. And he was able to put on a show. And a big shout out to MaNa, because sure, he may have lost against Clem, but he beat Hero Marine. He knocked Big Gabe out of the tournament. And that is definitely something to be proud of. And yeah, a lot of respect here to MaNa. Really big win for him to make it to the semis. Was not an easy road for MaNa. Again, Big Gabe, he's one of the best Terran players in Europe. He's top 3 alongside Clem, alongside Spirit. He is one of the best that Europe has to offer when it comes to Terran. So it was a big win for MaNa earlier. GG. GG, well played. GG. And with that, we are getting ready for the lower semifinals. We're getting ready for the lower semifinals. It is going to be a ZVP between Rainer and MaxPax. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back of yourselves.